Hey Kimberly, okay, so here is your past life spread, and what we're going to do is we're going to look at where we are, what you did with the majority of your time, an important day, another important day, the death, and the lesson learned, and we'll get hints of time throughout, alright? So I'm just going to relay to you the images and impressions I'm getting, and your job is going to be to try to make connections where you can from what we're looking at here to your current life, and I'll try to help where I can, okay? Alright, so we're gonna get Europe. We're going to Europe, alright? And what's coming to mind right when I laid this card down was Germany. And I want to say it's one of those, almost like one of those provincial towns in Germany that you see a picture of today, and it's just so quaint and so cute, and it's kind of like it's a village. What it feels like is a village feel. So already what connections you could be making, for example, are one, any connections you have to Germany. Whenever you see photos of, like, you know, the German castle or those little German villages, do you like those? Like, do they call to you? Do they speak to you? Also, you know, German art, language, heritage, just history, like just anything German. Also, this is the time period where it's the same time period as, like, honestly, it's like what's coming to mind is the those folk tales and fairy tales that you hear about, because a lot of them are like in the German forests, and it's like back in the, you know, where women wore aprons every day kind of thing, and it was just very like storybook time period looking, which obviously doesn't mean everything's, you know, honky-dory, but it's just that period of time that it feels like, okay? So keep that in mind. And also that might call to you too, that time period in history. So what I feel like we're looking at here is, I feel like we're looking at the life of a male, but this male is very influenced by a female counterpart or a partner, and that's what it feels like, because at first it felt feminine, and then it was a male. So it's a male, but he has, I guess you could say he's, if he was alive today, it would be a feminist. Someone who what's it called? Deeply values the female ways, so to speak. So in your current life, if you ever feel like maybe you were a tomboy, maybe you felt like you had like masculine tendencies in a way, but then again, this guy was more like, he wasn't feminine, but he just admired the feminine, like the beauty of women kind of thing. Like he would have been a feminist. So if you actually find yourself to be a feminist, I guess is what I'm trying to get around to. If that's, you know, if you're a feminist for female rights, or just you admire the strength in women, like that kind of, like, you know, ancient strength kind of thing, keep that in mind as well if that speaks to you. What else are we... No. Okay, so let's go here. So what you do with the majority of your time, this is the food card, and this has meant like so many things. So these cards don't always mean like right away, oh, food, okay, chef, you know. It can even mean like it can indicate a mother who cooks for her kids, you know what I mean? But in this case, what comes through really strongly is that this duo, I say duo because I feel like there is a partner involved that is just kind of with you from a young adult age, like a young union takes place. But for you, I feel like we're looking at like a baker or a no, not pastry, but like baker. So in this village, it's like you are the baker, and I feel like bread just plays a big part in this. So in your current life, if you like baking or cooking, or if you like even the industry, like the food industry, you might like to watch those food shows, whatever they might be, like, also you might like the, what's it called? Well, the food shows, actually, those bake-off, you know, the competition food shows, you might like that. If you do, you know, that's where it would come from. You might have a fondness for bread, which is not weird because I totally do too, so no shame there. But you might like to just, you know, baking actually might be therapeutic. And if that's the case, it would stem from here. So I'm trying to see a little bit more. It's just like this small shop and there's just this sense of just contentedness here. I want to say it's almost like your father's shop. I feel like it's like in the family. And I feel like a lot of places in this village are kind of in the family anyway. I feel like that's just how it rolls in this place, especially in this time period. So, you might be coming back in this current life as someone who actually wants to do opposite of your parents because you took up the family business here. So our souls, when they experience something in one life, they like to come back and experience something different. So you went along so well, it was so comfortable and easy to go into the family business. In your current life, you could be doing that again because it feels comfortable, or you could be someone that's like, no, I'm going to carve out my own path and I'm going to make my own way doing what I want, that kind of thing. So let's go to the first important day, and this is a really nice day. Here we see the birth card. And with the birth card is the child card. And the feelings we are feeling here is happy. Woohoo! And so we are literally, you are with your wife. I feel like you are actually helping your partner give birth, which I don't know if it was common or not to allow the husband or partner or the male into the room when this happens, but I feel like you're there. Like, I feel like not only do you want to be hands-on, but she wants you hands-on. There's a really nice partnership here. It's just like yin and yang. It's like so easygoing. There is, and I almost want to say like, it's like I feel like you guys married as teens. I feel like this is like a teen marriage, like a teen union, but you both are very like solidly mature. Like it's a very lovely feeling for this partnership. So you're having this child and it's a girl. You have a daughter. That's what it's looking like. Because I'm being shown a girl, but not even like, I'm not being shown the baby being born. I'm being shown a little girl, like, she looks like 10, 9, maybe like right around there, and she's just really happy. So it's like I feel like this life is being shown to you to show you that you've had an ultimately happy experience in a life. So, I mean, so far, this is just like, this is a piece of pie. This is wonderful. Haha, no pun intended, right? Pie. Anyway, so we're looking at this child being born and a feeling of completion of the family unit. Because I don't know if you have more children, quite frankly. It feels like she is what you've been waiting for. And it also feels like there was actually possibly a problem conceiving. So it's like just to have one is so, like, wow, we finally. And in your current life, you could be, how it can connect to you could be like just your stance on children. One, if you have children, they could be the world to you. Two, you might not even want children. Or it's okay if you never really saw yourself having children. Even if you do have them, you just never saw yourself having them because you had them here. 3, you could have had issues with any miscarriages possibly happening because it was so hard to conceive here that soul memory might carry over sometimes. And so if you've had issues conceiving, it would stem from here as well. Also, if you don't want to have children or you didn't want to have children, it could, and you didn't know why, it would have likely stemmed from the emotional feeling of fear of losing the child, because I feel like we're looking at someone here who did have a miscarriage or two, possibly more, before this one took root, so to speak. All right. So this can also indicate, how you feel about family. This can just mean that you don't need a lot of people to be happy. You just need a small unit of people you can trust and love. Your family might mean everything to you. On the flip side, it's that kind of thing where if family was everything here, then in your current life, if you're experiencing like disconnect from family, it's because your soul wants to experience a different family experience than it did here. Okay. Also, as far as like romance goes, if you are in a partnership and it's working out, it would be likely because you feel like you're on the same page with things and you go well together. If you're in a partnership and it's not working out, it could be because it's just not like easy, and you want something that's just kind of easy and loving and kind. And if you don't have a partner, it could be because you're just waiting for that person to come along where things are just easy, no drama, okay? So if that speaks to you, great. Now, the next important day is, this is the so long, farewell until we meet again card. And that is when there's a leaving, somebody is leaving. Now here we have friends. And then the card is grateful for how you're feeling about this. And I'll tell you what's happening is that your child is actually leaving. And I feel like she is going, I feel like, okay, this time period is kind of like what we're seeing, kind of not now, but like, you know, a couple decades back when, you know, just women are starting to enter the workforce more, and there's, you know, wearing those power suits, and, you know, it's like a kind of like a changeover happening in the gender thing. I feel like we're looking at a time period here where girls are now like starting to, if they can, go off and get an education rather than stay in the towns, especially these small towns, especially the small towns. Oh, which by the way, if you have a connection, you like the idea of a small town, a village, that kind of thing, if that pulls to you, it would stem from here. On the flip side, if you actually prefer cities, that can make sense too, because you were so in a small town here your whole life. So, but yeah, so we're seeing women, a gender thing happening for women. They're stepping up a little bit in this time period too, and it feels very much like she is leaving the nest. But she's young, but it's for an education. And I actually don't even know if you guys were even expecting her to take over the family business, because even though she helped, like there's a feeling of her helping all the time, you could both, it was a very good family unit, very like open, and you can read each other very well. And I feel like you and your partner were able to read that your child was not really passionate about it like you guys were. So her leaving, it was like very, it's like, what's it called? It's surprising, but it wasn't like super surprising. Like you weren't like, I didn't see this coming. It was more like, okay, I thought you might, but okay, let's, you know, that kind of thing, where it's like, it was always a possibility, because she had a spirit in her that was just like, you know, that next generation. It was just like a little bit different from yours. So she's going to start to pursue things, you know, more opportunities. So I feel like something about braids, like always wearing her hair in braids. There's a lot of braids. So if you are fond of braids, I know that's kind of random and weird, that would actually stem from here. And also, I actually, you know, what's coming to mind is weird is I don't know where these come from, but you know those cuckoo clocks, those wooden like cuckoo clocks, they're old fashioned, and they hang on the wall, and there's things hanging down from the bottom, and they're really beautiful and like handmade. I feel like when those were like starting to be made is the time period we're looking at, and it's like almost like there was a cuckoo clock at some point. So if you've ever, again, random, I know, but if you've been drawn to cuckoo clocks, like if that was ever a thing, or if that's something you find really intriguing, it would stem from here too. I feel like it was almost like something special that people had in the homes, like something like we collect today, like how everybody has a TV today, almost like that kind of cuckoo clock thing. So keep that in mind. I know it's kind of odd. Anyway, so the friends card is coming in though, because we're seeing you and your partner turn to friends in the community more than ever before, because before you only needed each other to help each other, like emotionally, but with her gone, you actually need a distraction. You're finding, even on a subconscious level, maybe you're not like, she's gone now and we need a distraction. It's more like she leaves and you guys are just like, okay, what do we do now? You know, because it's like once you had her, your whole life like revolved around her. So I feel like the friends are coming in, because that's when you start reaching out to the community, kind of like everyone knows you, of course, but it's not like you guys hung out with people for fun. It was always like your family unit would go and be with other family units. I feel like you guys hung out with the town or village a lot when it came to like holidays and like gatherings in the square kind of thing, but not like a one-on-one. And here we see a whole new chapter in your life happening where you're starting to hang out with people and starting to enjoy people outside of just your unit. And the feelings of grateful are coming in because you're realizing that there are so many wonderful people out there that you get along with. And it could have been like you're realizing, oh my gosh, she left, and it could have been just us in this baking shop being miserable and sad and missing her. But instead, we're making friends like more deeply than before. We're getting to know people, and there's something really special about it. So in your current life, currently what you might be experiencing is desiring finding people who you vibe with, that tribe. You hear people say find your tribe. That might be something that you're wanting, or that maybe you've already found them. But it's funny because it's like in this time you needed an excuse to make friends, and currently I feel like this is coming up because almost like use this reading as an excuse to go and find your friends now. Like it's time right now to start connecting with people. I feel like it's very important that you start connecting with people and talking to them and hearing their their belief systems, and talking like deeply, like not shallow stuff anymore, like finding friends you can deeply discuss beliefs and just like life with on a whole nother level. So I just wanted to say that if that speaks to you as well, friends come into play here later in life. And feelings of gratitude are very important. The more gratitude you show, I feel like the more gratitude you show just for being alive, just for the little things, the more the universe is going to respond by giving you what you need and continuing that gratitude. So at this point, it feels like if you haven't already found them, you will run into people that you will vibe with. So keep your eyes open. Now this card is the Death card, and this is an accident card, and it's really interesting because it feels very much like something you do to your own body, not suicide, but something like drinking, almost like you drink until you hurt your insides, what's it called? Geez, liver? I don't know, liver, right? Yeah. Well, anyway, it's affecting your body in such a way that I feel like the alcohol or something you're ingesting or digesting, whatever, the alcohol, I feel like it is alcohol, gives you a turn for the worse years later after she leaves, but still younger than it could have been, kind of thing. We're looking at someone maybe in their 60s, and I feel like the alcohol just kind of does you in. And it's not because you're turning to drink to be sad, it's just that I feel like you just drink as much as anyone that you're with drinks, and your body is just not like immune to it quite like everybody else, because I just feel like alcohol plays a part in the role of this community, and not in a bad way, not in a crazy way, just like it's there constantly, and like every meal. And so in your current life, if you find you have any addictive qualities to you, or if you've gone through alcohol issues in the first place, it would stem from here as well. You could be finding yourself placed with people who have alcoholic tendencies or issues, because you may have wanted to come back to try to help people like that because of what it did to you unknowingly, making you, being fatal. So you might be triggered by alcohol things like if you read articles about DUI, people dying in car wrecks when they were, drunk, or, just things happening when people are drunk, women getting taken advantage of, things like that might really trigger you. And if they do, it would stem from here. But your partner was beside you the whole time. So yeah, as far as the alcohol thing, so we have the addictive qualities, the alcohol issues or triggers, and I'm trying to see if there's anything else. If you experience headaches and dehydration, it would stem from here too. And if that's the case, start drinking more water. So here we have the experience card for the lesson. And the lesson for the experience here is amazing because you really did experience everything. You are a business owner, you were in love, you finally had the child, but you also experienced having to work for the child and having to fight the fears of never having the family that you want. You were also there at the birth, and you're experiencing changing in your life. Like, your life was so consistent for a long time, and then once your daughter left, there was a big change, and you started being more social and feeling things you didn't feel before. And we see someone who experiences a lot, and the thing is you're experiencing this all in this small village. That's it. That's your horizon, is this small village here. And I feel like this card is coming up because you're in a time period, and you're in basically just a time in history when you have so many opportunities to get out, to travel, to see the world, to really experience things on a whole different level of what experience means. And I feel like this is coming up because if you have any notions or desires of wanting to get out and experience things you've never done before, maybe you're starting to get an itch to take a dance class or an art class or something where you're creating things, whatever it is, it's time to do that. Like, now. It's time to like, even though it might seem difficult or hard, either financially or socially, whatever it might be, it's really important. I feel like this is coming up, is very important that you really start to see everything as an experience, and also go after the experiences that you either want to have or that you don't even know you want to have. It's just about being open to opportunities that come your way. So keep your eyes open. I feel like that's the big message, is keep your eyes open for things that might intrigue you coming up, okay? And to go after it, of course. So there's your past life reading. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you were able to make some connections, and thanks for letting me read you.